All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. And guys, is the crypto market pumping today? We are seeing Bitcoin break out of some key resistances. We actually just pumped up to swing failure pattern, the highs of our 94,600 range. And let's see if we get a small pullback from here. I am a little bit short from this swing failure pattern here, but we were looking at Bitcoin possibly seeing a larger three-wave corrective move that was possible and potentially coming up to 96.5 to $97,000, which I still do think is possible. We have this liquidity trail, specifically these highs from that liquidity trail that is resting up into that POC. That is our macro volume profile of the entire year of 2025's price action. But Bitcoin is pushing up locally, really nice impulsive price action, increased volume. Money flow looks absolutely strong here, absolutely fabulous, absolutely strong. And here on the 4-hour time frame, we still do not have bear divs on the chart. So I have to say, Bitcoin and the crypto market is breaking out of some key resistances. And I did say last week that if we are able to break above our 91K resistance here, then I think we will quickly move up to take out our 94.6K highs and potentially come up to 96.5, 96.6, where we have our point of control. And what happened last week? So let me go ahead and zoom in on the hourly chart. You can see what we did is coming in on the weekend. We actually broke up on the weekend. We did have some news with Venezuela and the United States giving a little bit of a push up here. It wasn't entirely news based, but it was definitely a catalyst. And you can see we broke above that value area high of our range, of our smaller 7-week long range that we've been trading in. We were able to now kind of chop down over Saturday and Sunday and hold that value area high as support, flipping it to support. And I did post that it's likely that we are going to come up to our next resistance level, which was a naked daily point of control in confluence with the daily level that was resting at about $92,500 to $92,400, 350, which was a naked daily point of control on a daily level. Well, we busted straight through it. No reaction at all. Really quick move straight through it with volume, with a nice big imbalance candle to the upside, showing absolutely no resistance. And then we started working on flipping that to support. Now, I did post about this on Sunday in the Telegram. Guys, we have broken above our 92K area of resistance, and we're working on flipping that to make it support now. And that is kind of what we saw throughout the day today and throughout Sunday is came back down, back tested that area now as support, came back down, back tested it as support again, but made a higher low, continuing bullish market structure, held it as support, and now we've pushed up to just grab the liquidity of those highs of the range. And I did say it was likely if we do break out of this 91K resistance, we are likely to come for the range highs and see a larger 3-wave corrective move before continuing downwards. Now, let's zoom out here and talk about the double 1-2 impulse to the downside that I've been talking about on larger time frames. So we'll zoom out to the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame from the all-time high, let me go ahead and turn off these daily levels as well. We've been looking at from the all-time high an impulse to the downside, a wave 1, wave 2, internal wave 1, internal wave 2. This was all our third wave. And really what we wanted to see is when we were coming up here to bearishly backtest the Fibonacci channel, we saw 3 taps and a rejection. We wanted to continue down here. We wanted to continue down and not make a higher low and not hold our macro value area low. You can see the macro value area low was holding. And that would have been more likely than that this was 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. We could have continued that impulse to the downside. But our range was kind of extending a little bit far in time. We were, even for a wave 4 range, you want it to be similar or equal in time to your wave 2s. Sometimes wave 4s are longer, 2 to 4 times longer, but we were getting significantly longer in time on this range that we've been in. This was about, I believe, 10 or 11 days, and we've been in this thing for 7 weeks now, so significantly longer. And because we were now holding the value area low of that 7-week long range, and we were flipping that POC to support, we were expecting at least the move to the value area high, which was 91,000 to 91,500. That was the resistance that if it did break, I thought we were going to push to the upside and take the range highs. And we have done that today. Now, is this bullish impulse to the downside completed? And now are we about to skyrocket here and push up, to 115K, 112K? We can pull that golden pocket from the all-time high down to the 80.5K lows. Are we going to push up to 110K, where you can see our golden pocket is in confluence with the value area high of the range? Well, this is a possibility, and you can see we also have some key liquidity that's resting right into that golden pocket there. But I still do believe that this 80.5K low that we made on the daily time frame is not the ultimate low of this move to the downside here, this potential move to the downside. So what we could be looking at is a larger corrective move. We could be looking at a three-wave move followed by a three-wave move, and then we would look for another three-wave move to the downside, a larger WXY correction. And within this itself here being a complex correction where we can look for a couple different rejection areas. First of all, 96.5K. I am looking at that area of 96.5K. It's really 96.6. You can see 96.650, 96.530, depending on where you put that cursor there. Coming up to about 97K. That is definitely an area where we might see some sort of pullback. And if we can break above 97K, 96, 97K, then we might see that move up to backtest the Fibonacci channel again, coming in around 101K, depending on time, how long it takes to get there, where we have our 50-week moving average that would be very close by the time we get up there, unless we're going to impulse up there in the next day or two. That 50-week moving average could be coming in pretty close to where we would expect a backtest of this Fibonacci channel. But looking at this range that we've been in for the last 7 weeks, let's go ahead and zoom in now onto the 4-hour time frame. So first off, we have not, in the past week, really have not seen any sign of weakness, or at least from our move up from $86,600, we have not really seen a sign of weakness. And holding, let me go ahead and hide this range now, holding the macro value area low, you can see this was a little bit of a deviation of that value area low, but then we were able to get back inside of it, hold it as support, reject from the Fibonacci channel, higher low, reject from the Fibonacci channel, but once again, now we came down for the higher time frame backtest of the value area low. We held it on the higher time frame backtest of the value area low, and really from this low is when we started this impulse to the upside. Bullish market structure in here, and now we're pushing up very rapidly. So from that low that was coming in around $84,400, we can now be looking at this as some sort of impulse to the upside, whether you want to say this is a wave 1, a wave 2, wave 3 here, and then we're going to get a pullback, maybe a 4, a 5 coming up to that, or we can see the swing failure pattern be the end of wave 3, a 4 to backtest 91K, and then a 5 up to 96K. I still do think we have higher prices to come on Bitcoin, especially based off of our money flow that we're seeing on these intermediate time frames. If we zoom out to the 8-hour chart, on the 8-hour chart, you can see money flow looking very healthy, no bear divs, money flow looking very healthy, no bear divs. And I do think it's highly likely that we do come up to test our range point of control, because think in terms of volume profile trading. We have just rotated the volume profile, held the value area low. If the value area low can hold as support, you have a high likelihood of testing the point of control, which is considered fair value. Now, if we're going to remain overall bearish, we would expect a rejection from fair value and another push down here. But if we can get back above the point of control, we might be able to move up to the value area high where we know an important golden pocket is resting. So that's what I'm going to be watching for as far as the macro time frame goes. But until we can break above $96,600, really, I think that this overall bearish structure is likely to continue, and the overall lows at 80.5 are not going to be our macro overall lows. But shorter term, intermediate term time frame, we are bullish and we are pushing up here and expected to continue to push up locally. So what I would say is we could pull a trend-based Fibonacci extinction from our 80.5K lows up to our 94.6K highs, down to our 84.4K higher lows. And let's throw on those one-to-one target, one-to-one to the 1.236. Let's make sure yet that's based off log scale. And another interesting level, both of these levels are interesting. So if we are going to see a larger three-wave corrective move, common targets are to in between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236. Well, you can see we have some very nice confluence at both of these levels. At $99,200, we have the backtest of our Fibonacci channel. At the 1.236, we have the backtest of our anchored VWAP, which was our 74K anchored VWAP, which was holding as support. And then once we lost it, we backtested it bearishly, and that's when we saw the big crash to the downside. So that would be another higher time frame backtest of a very key anchored VWAP for me, a very key volume trending level for me. But we'll see how this plays out. Now, in this range, obviously, we're breaking above the range value area high, which was around $91,200. We're breaking above that range value area high, and I expect us, even if we see a swing failure pattern, which we are confirming a swing failure pattern right now of the range highs, and pull back to $91,000 to about $91,200, I want to see it hold as support to continue pushing up higher here. Because locally, our market structure is bullish from the 84.4K lows, and whether we're going to be looking at this as a wave one, a wave two, internal wave one, internal wave two, internal wave one, internal wave two, a multiple 1-2 impulse. Let me zoom into the 4 hours so we can get a better look at this. So we have 3 1-2s in here. This all could be the start of the third wave, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a third wave, but then we would need 3 more 4 5s in here. 4 5 4 5 4 5 to end this impulse to the upside and overall end this larger corrective move to the upside. So I am looking bullish, more locally, bullishly. We did just now. So let me be clear on this. I am looking overall for Bitcoin in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to continue pushing to the upside. But we did grab the liquidity just now from the range highs, and we might now in the next day or two see a bit of a pullback on Bitcoin. You can see the perfect swing failure pattern of the range highs, pierce above the level, wick out the traders, the shorts, stop those short traders out, and now we are starting to dump. We also do have some local bear divs on the chart. You can see on the 1 hour chart, we have lower highs in the momentum waves, just barely, but lower highs in the momentum waves. Money flow has the bear divs as well on Market Cipher B. And on NAMI, we did confirm the bear divs locally as well into that swing failure pattern, but we do not have bear divs on the money flow. If we zoom in to the 15-minute chart, on the 15-minute chart, this is where the bear divs really start to add up here, multiple drives. So you can see really from our back test of 91K here at the value area high, we have been creating some bear divs on the chart. And actually, let's pull this up a little bit better here. Okay, from Sunday's highs, we have created bear divs on the 15-minute, multiple drives. Higher highs in the price action. You could see lower highs in the momentum waves. And overall, from the test of the value area high, money flow is draining out. You can say we do have money flow bear divs on NAMI. Very slight, but we do have money flow bear divs on NAMI as well as those bear divs from Sunday's highs as well. So maybe a small pullback. If we pull back here on Bitcoin with our intermediate time frame and our daily time frame money flow looking pretty bullish, I would expect us to drop to about 91K to back test that value area high of the range and then continue pushing up here. That is what I'm going to be looking at here. And at these lows around $90,800 to grab the liquidity of these lows and then to continue back up would be nice. And that would also allow us to end our wave 3. That would show that we could end our wave 3 and then start our 4 5s. Is what, like with our 1-2s here, we have our triple 1-2s. This could be your third wave. 4 5s, 4 5s. Now, what I would say with this, let's zoom out to the hourly chart. from our 84.4K lows, this initial move up, there's a couple issues with this being a wave 1, a wave 2, all of this a wave 3 to start your third wave. Once again, primary 1, primary 2, secondary 1, secondary 2, triple 1, triple 2, trinary 1, trinary 2, and then this would be the start of your third wave. But this initial move up from 84.2 is very three-wave corrective. And if you're going to impulse in a wave 1 of a larger degree wave 3, you want this to be a 5-wave move to the upside. And we can very clearly see you would have to really finagle this to get this to be a 5-wave move in here, because we do have this low is lower than this low here. You could say that this is a double bottom. You technically did make a double bottom here, so you could say a wave 1, a wave 2, all of this is your wave 3. Now we're going to pull back a wave 4 and then a wave 5. There's a couple ways to count this. No matter which way you count this, Bitcoin is looking bullish here locally over the next couple of weeks. It looks like we could continue to push up here. Once again, we did just SFP the range highs, so I am expecting a bit of a pullback. I actually did short this SFP here of the range highs. Wick above, as soon as you close below, you can enter short. And the first take profit I will be looking at is probably taking out these lows here, the liquidity of those lows at about $92,100. And then second TP would be the value area high around $91,200, $91,300. Okay, but overall, guys, the larger time frame, zooming back out to the daily, once again, the larger time frame bias that I still have on the charts, and I know that this is going to be unpopular with how bullish the market looks right now, is that we are still in a bigger move to the downside, overall going to be making lows below our 80.5K lows. The question is, and I remember a couple guys on the live stream, CJ, you kept asking me this on the live stream, are we still going to come possibly down to 78K? And I did say on Friday, if we break above 91K, then it's likely that we come up to 97K first or 96.5K first, take out the range highs first, and then see that move down. And that is what is in progress now and what is happening now. So we'll have to see how this plays out. With this being a larger WXY correction, I also want to talk about this. From our 80.5K lows, you can see we have a very clear 3-wave corrective move here. That could be a W wave, followed by a very clear 3-wave corrective move down here. That could be your X wave. And then you would want to see a 3-wave move up in your Y wave, with the end of your Y being an impulse. And we see very clearly we could be in that Y wave pushing to the upside, making overall that larger 3-wave corrective move. So we'll see. We'll have to see how this plays out. I am expecting a little bit higher on Bitcoin. Now, with our 1-to-1 and our 1.236 targets, yes, we would be breaking above the point of control of the range. And if we start to break above and close daily candles above the point of control of this range, we would have to watch for a bullish backtest and holding that as support and then continuing to work our way up. And especially if we come back up inside of our Fibonacci channel, that is when I'll start to get really bullish for a move up to 108 to 110. We'll just keep an eye on that. I will be streaming tomorrow so we can cover some of this live price action tomorrow. Also, guys, we do have a lot happening in the news this week. You can see January 4th through January 10th. Today, we had ISM manufacturing numbers. Tomorrow, we have CPI month over month and year over year. CPI. And then we have ISM services and jobs openings, JOLTS jobs openings on Wednesday. So very busy week for news. And then unemployment claims on Thursday. So every single day, and Friday as well, unemployment change, unemployment rate, actually hourly earnings. Sorry, that's for Canada. Unemployment rate, non-farm payroll, non-farm employment change. So a lot of news that could be catalysts that could drive this market this week. All right. let's check out our liquidity on our liquidation heat map. Let's go back to the last 3 months of price action. Okay, let's go back to the last 1 month. Let's see if this will load. Let me go to the Model 3. And we have now come up to take out some of that liquidity that was above us. Let me see if I can zoom out to the 3 month map on Model 3. Yeah, we have taken out a majority of that liquidity. You can see that liquidity was resting around $91,200, $91,400, which was the value area high of this 7-week long range. So we've taken out that liquidity. We continue pushing up. And locally, the liquidity that's closest is still that liquidity below those 86.3K lows. Now, I do understand that I've been saying, guys, over the past week, it's highly unlikely that the market makers get this close to taking out these 83.6K lows, 86.3, excuse me, K lows, making these higher lows just barely higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and don't come down and sweep that before coming up. I genuinely did think that was the highest probability because generally market makers won't leave liquidity sitting so close behind before seeing the bigger rally to the upside. But in this case, it happened. So all we can do is now play the price action that is given to us, breaking through some key resistances. I'm going to go ahead and delete this resistance now. That was a naked daily point of control on a daily level, busted straight through it. And we just look up towards our next levels. Okay, looking at some levels on the chart, we do have a new weekly level at 87,000. I'm going to say $87,900, which is around our range point of control. Not that range point of control. Let me go ahead and zoom into the 4-hour chart, and we will turn on that 7-week long range. You can see your range point of control is coming in around $87,500 with that weekly just above. And then we do have some naked weekly points of control that have confirmed at $87,500. We also have a naked daily point of control there as well. And we do have a daily level there as well. So $87,500 to $87,900 is going to be a very key level of support for Bitcoin. That is the new strongest level of support below. But before we even get down to that level of support, we do have some higher support levels. So obviously the value area high of this 7-week long that we broke, 7-week long range that we broke out of is now going to be a support level. It's going to be a high, if we do reject here, it's going to be a higher time frame bullish backtest of that value area high. That value area high also has a naked daily point of control, a new naked daily point of control that's sitting right around $91,250. And then I believe there was the liquidity that's resting right below that. You can see that liquidity that is resting at about $90,800. So we have liquidity, we have a naked daily, we have our value area high, and then of course the anchored VWAP is there as well. So if we do get a pullback, I will be looking locally from that general area of $90,200 to about $90,800 as a support level to look for longs. If we actually pull up and extend this volume profile now, you can see that the value area high has been raised just a little bit to right where that naked daily point of control is. Right on top of that value area high. So that would be a support level for me. I'm not going to throw a box on. Actually, we will throw a box there. Support. Just above us, we do have a naked weekly point of control that's coming in right around $96,000. $96,000 to $96,600 is going to be our next big resistance area. That is going to be our macro range point of control as well as a naked weekly point of control. And Yeah, and that internal liquidity grab that was there, if we zoom back out to the 4-hour chart, you can see we do have some liquidity that's resting right into these areas, lower high liquidity, resting right up into this general area of resistance above us. On the daily chart, you can see money flow now on Market Cipher B is just crossing over into the green on the daily time frame, and on NAMI, which is quicker as far as money flow goes, money flow is heavily in the green and increasing quite rapidly here, showing some strength, showing that Bitcoin might be able to continue some green candles over the next few days here. Maybe one red candle to backtest this area and then some green candles to continue up. Another thing that I do want to talk about is we talked about this at the beginning of last week and at the end of last week. We were looking at how the New Year's, I'm going to zoom out onto the 2-day time frame. We were looking at how back in our bear market of 2022, right when we hit the New Year's, right when we hit January 1st, we did push up right after the New Year started. You can see we had a very big push to the upside right afterwards. Multiple days of green candles, with the green candles getting bigger and bigger and bigger to start the new year. We know that a lot of the bigger corporations, a lot of the bigger firms do kind of rebalance their portfolios at the beginning of the year. And this big push up was only after we saw months of downside. Well, what we were discussing last week is sure, it wasn't a full bear market cycle, but it was a 36% drop that we'd seen on Bitcoin for a few months long. And coming into the new year, could we see coming into the new year another repeat of what we saw the last time we were in a multi-year or multi-month downtrend coming into the new year? And it does look like we are seeing that. So just something to think about there, that Bitcoin is has potential to really continue to push up here. Now, as far as technical analysis goes, I do still think that we have a higher probability of making a lower high before coming down to take out those 80.5K lows. But that's honestly, guys, that's about it for Bitcoin. We have some key levels. Let me go ahead and zoom out on our order flow here. We can check out our order flow. Wow. Yeah, I mean, even locally here, Bitcoin is still looking like it is seeing some bullish CVD absorption. From this morning's market open around there, we are making higher lows in the price action as of now. We are making lower lows in the CVD, and your open interest is increasing. Now, this big drop is problematic, and this drop in open interest is happening because obviously we stopped out the liquidity of those range highs. We stopped out the liquidity. We had the perfect swing failure pattern, stop hunt, liquidity grab of those range highs, and that's why we're dumping. And that is also why you're seeing this drop in open interest. Also, a little bit of this drop in open interest is from late longers that are getting stopped out. So we did have a bunch of longs coming in throughout, the last couple of days. So we want to see Bitcoin hold a higher low, though, and really that $91,200 area would be like the line in the sand for me. If we do grab the liquidity of the range highs, let me zoom in on this. If we grab the liquidity of the range highs, and I'm gonna clean this chart up, guys. Give me just a second here. Grab the liquidity of the range highs. If we fall back inside of our volume profile, that we could get really severely bearish here, and it could be the end of this 3-wave corrective move. So we do not want to lose 91,000 to about 90,800 as a support level for now. Now, after we come up a little bit higher, reject from 97K, the POC, we might be seeing something very similar to that happening. So we'll have to see how that plays out as more data develops on the charts. But that's what I'm looking at still. Overall, this being a corrective move before continuing down. And if we break back above $99,000, $99,200, then I'm going to start getting really, really bullish on Bitcoin. Looking for the move up, potentially up to $110,000, $107,000, $110,000, $108,000 to $110,000. Where we do have the value area high of that macro range in confluence with that macro golden pocket. $108.8 to about $110.2. That's about it for Bitcoin, guys. Real quickly here, I do want to cover the partners of the channel. So the main part of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can actually earn up to 40% discounts on trading fees if you deposit some of the larger amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you move in those futures markets. And they are giving some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the entire industry. So if you deposit just $100, you can get a 50% deposit bonus, which is the highest I've seen for a $100 deposit. And they're offering various 20% and 10% deposit bonuses, depending on if you deposit these larger amounts into the exchange. I've also partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community where I do post my thoughts on the market, updates on the market, trade setups or trades that I'm getting into in that Telegram community. If you'd like to get into that Telegram community, it is free. It's a private community, but it is free. The only thing you need to do to get into the community is to join BYDFI using my affiliate link and deposit $100 into the exchange. That $100 is your money to trade with. You will get the discounts on the trading fees, and you can earn the 50% deposit bonus if you do KYC. Once you've done that, once you've joined with the affiliate link and deposited $100, there is a Telegram link in the description of this video. Click on the Telegram link and type in /verify in your user ID, which will be right up here. It's going to be a string of letters and numbers. And once you've done that, you'll automatically be put into that Telegram. And once you are in, you are in. Then you can join us, join our community. We've got a great community full of great traders, all talking about Bitcoin, trading Bitcoin, other assets, a lot of the altcoins we look at in the Telegram community. So if you're interested, come and join us. You can also tag me in the general chat, ask me questions about Bitcoin, ask me questions about some of the altcoins. So hope to see you there. Second partner of the channel is NAMI Trading. And NAMI is this momentum and money flow indicator. I use it for all my confirmations on my trades. So as we're coming up to key resistances, key targets, I'm looking to see whether NAMI's confirming bearish. In this case, if we're, making higher highs in bullish market structure, looking to see if we're confirming bearish divergences, looking to see how money flow looks. And for me, I use it after we get to our key levels that we're interested in, our boxes of support and resistance. I'm looking at it as confirmation to enter. For me, it's been very helpful. If you are interested in purchasing NAMI, we have partnered with NAMI Trading to do 50% off. If you use my affiliate link in the description below, you can also use promotion code DIVINE50. That's also in the description below. You can get 50% off NAMI. And then lastly, we do have Bybit and MEXC, both great exchanges, both offering some perks if you do join using the affiliate link. Bybit's offering up to $30,000 in futures trading bonuses, and MEXC's offering a 10% initial deposit bonus. And if you do want to join with either of those exchanges, it's just a way to say thank you to the channel. Of course, they are affiliate links, so I do get a little bit of a kickback from that, but it's a way to say thank you. All right, guys, let's move on here quickly to the total market cap. Now, last Friday, as we were coming up to the value area high and golden pocket, this was the key resistance where I said, guys, if we break above this key golden pocket value area high resistance, then it is likely that we could not only come up to take out the range highs, but we could actually come up to this larger golden pocket around $3.26 to $3.29 trillion, and even potentially hit the pitchfork band above us. What we were looking at overall on the total market cap is forming that range between the pitchfork band and the bottom of the pitchfork. Well, over the past 2-3 weeks, you can see the bottom of the pitchfork was holding as support over and over and over. It held as support. And now we're starting to really impulse up and break out of the value area high of our range, of our local 7-week long range, 6-7 week long range, breaking out of that range and pushing up. So now that we've broken out of the range and we've broken above our golden pocket, we've broken above our 786 Fibonacci, it is likely that we are going to come for the range highs. We can throw on those range highs. You can see actually we did just slightly SFP those range highs, just like we did with Bitcoin's range highs. And if we do get a move down, we now are going to be looking for this to flip to support to continue pushing up higher here. And I do think it's likely that we could continue to test the pitchfork band that was slightly front ran on these two highs here. So overall, the total market cap to pump. If it continues pumping, then we expect Bitcoin and the altcoins to continue pumping, continue bullishly here. If we lose the value area high of this range and we fall back inside the volume profile, very similar to Bitcoin, I would be looking for a move at least down to the value area low to take the liquidity that is resting of all these higher lows within this area. I would be looking to sweep all this liquidity if we fall back inside of it. But that's about it for total market cap. Just wanted to let you guys know total market cap was holding the pitchfork as support. We were able to maintain our overall bullish sentiment on the total market. And with the total market, when we did reject this upper band, we lost the midline, bounced from the lower band. We still have not back tested that lower band as resistance since we've lost it. We had an immediate low time frame back test. You could see lost it, immediate low time frame back test, came to the bottom. But since holding the bottom of this pitchfork, we have not back tested this area. So that would be a major resistance. So if we come up to this pitchfork band and we are seeing bear divs on the chart and Bitcoin is also at resistance, that'll be added confluence for me to look for more of a swing short positions to the downside. But unlike Bitcoin, the total market cap is maintaining its overall bullish sentiment for the year of 2025. This same exact pitchfork structure on Bitcoin has been lost. Actually, I could show you that right here. Let me go ahead and hide this. Has been lost, and we're working on getting back inside of it. Now, one other pitchfork that I did want to show you real quickly on Bitcoin here. We were looking also on Friday's live stream how our 7-week long range value area high was in confluence with the top of the pitchfork band. If we were to break out of it, we were going to see a move up to grab the liquidity at the highs of the range. And we also had our anchored VWAP on Bybit. The anchored VWAP, let me just zoom out to the daily here real quick. On Bybit, the anchored VWAP from 49K is a bit higher than Coinbase, and you can see that it's right at that $94,800 to $95,000 area, which we are coming up and testing right now. And since we have lost, let me hide this. Since we have lost that anchored VWAP, we have not back tested it yet on Bybit. And Bybit and Coinbase are the two big volume levels. Of course, I follow Coinbase volume levels first and foremost, but the second exchange I follow is Bybit. So we are at resistance, guys. We are swing failure. We are seeing a liquidity grab of the range highs right into our anchored VWAP, and this might give us a bit of a pullback here. And once again, pulling back to about 91,300 to about 90,800 would also make sense because we could drop to backtest this pitchfork band before continuing to push up higher here. Okay, we'll quickly go into Ethereum. Ethereum is coming up to its golden pocket. Let me zoom in to the 4-hour chart. Ethereum is coming up to that $3,200 resistance that I talked about last week. And I said, guys, this is the only level I'm interested in looking for an Ethereum short. It was the value area high of our range. We had some internal liquidity into that value area high, and we had our golden pocket resting up here. So we have now finally come up into that golden pocket resistance, value area high resistance. But if we look at this same range, which is about 7-8 weeks, let's see, this goes back to November 14th. So this one's, yeah, almost 2 months now. You can see we are at the value area high. And just like Bitcoin last week, last Friday, Saturday, Sunday, was chopping around the value area high, we are starting to break out of it. And if we zoom out to our daily candle, you can see the daily candle closed above the value area high of the range, which is a bullish sign, which means just like Bitcoin, the altcoins might continue pushing higher to take out their range highs. You can see the range high on Ethereum is going to be around 34.75, 34.77, 34.75. But we are at resistance. So just be careful. We're at resistance. We are seeing on the 1 hour chart, we are seeing those very slight bear divs on the chart. Actually, pretty much way more significant than Bitcoin. But from last Friday throughout the weekend, we've been making higher highs on the price action. We have been making lower highs on the momentum waves, and your money flow is draining out of the asset since those Friday highs. You can also see here on NAMI confirmed bearish divergences, confirmed money flow divergences here, meaning we could see a bit of a pullback from this golden pocket value area high. If we start to hold locally, hold this as support right now, we're coming down to it about $3,200 and hold it as support, then I do think we will continue to work our way up. And let's zoom back out. Let's zoom out to the 8 hour chart here. I think we have a very high likelihood of continuing up to the anchored VWAP around 32.82, but let's check out some of our levels here. Yeah, that daily level, which was in confluence with our 786 Fibonacci, that was going to be the next big resistance coming in around 33.26. And I just want to check these naked weeklies. Yeah, so 33.26-ish, 33.25. That's going to be our next big resistance. The anchored VWAP is always fascinating, but just like this time here, we wicked past it. We could wick past it a little bit to hit that 786 in daily level and then see a pullback for a higher time frame backtest of the value area high. So right now we're experiencing an immediate time frame backtest of that value area high. If it holds, if 3,200 holds right now, then I suspect we move up to 33.25, and then we could see a higher time frame backtest. If that holds, we're going to continue up. And remember, overall on Ethereum, the major resistance area that I've been looking at is around that $3,600 to $3,650 area. Let's zoom back out to the 8 hour. We have our macro value area high of our 4-year long range. Guys, this is a range that goes back 4 years on Ethereum. I'll just zoom out to the daily so we can get a better look at that. Macro volume profile going back to May of 2021. You can see the value area high of the range is coming in right around, well, now it's a little bit lower with the past 7 weeks, 35.66, let's say. Just above that, I do like the golden pocket. If we pull our Fibonacci, golden pocket at about 36.29 to 36.82. And the reason why I really like this golden pocket, we have some very key liquidity sitting up into that golden pocket. Anytime you see a liquidity grab into a golden pocket, and that was the liquidity that's right before this big crash here. So obviously there's going to be a lot of stop losses that are above this high. And you can see our anchored VWAP from the all-time high is coming down into that resistance level, but it's also our pitchfork upper band of resistance. And the last time we lost that upper band, we had an immediate back test of it. We rejected, we crashed hard. So now we held the midline of the pitchfork, held it. If we push up here, we could reject, and I would expect a pretty significant move down if we do reject from that 3650 to 3680-ish level. Now, more locally on Ethereum, like I said, we are back testing the value area high as we speak. I'm making this video. Actually, I think I'm going to stop this video after this altcoin because the markets are really hot right now and I want to pay attention to what's happening. I'm in the short on Bitcoin. I also did short Solana. I can cover that in just a bit here or in a different video. But let's see, 3,200. We want 3,200 locally to hold, guys, and we want to continue up to 3,325. If we lose it, then this is our overall resistance, being the value area high of our 7-week long range in confluence with that golden pocket. It is, if we start to close, I would say hourly to 4-hourly candles back inside our volume profile, it could mean a bigger push to the downside. So you can see we're coming up to that value area high right now at $3,200. Now, Ethereum looks really nice because Ethereum from this low here, we have very clear impulse of a wave 1, a wave 2. All of this could be a wave 3 here. And if our wave 3 is ending right now, a pullback to a wave 4 before seeing a wave 5 here come in. Let's pull our trend-based our Fibonacci retracement from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3. Let's put on our wave 4 targets, and we would be looking between 3120 and 3075. And what I really like about that is you can see those Friday lows coming in at 3075 are starting to look pretty juicy there for confluence. Let's also turn on our naked daily points of controls. If it will go. Okay, that naked daily point of control at the 382 has been taken. No naked dailies down there. Let's see if there's a naked weekly from this week that just ended. Okay, no naked weeklies either. We do have a naked weekly down at 2971, 2972, which is going to be really important. First level of support though, it would for me would be 3075. You can see we have that order block here into some liquidity at your 0.5 Fibonacci. But we are at resistance, guys. We are at resistance. We are starting to reject from that resistance. So if we lose 3,200, I would expect at least to move down to 3,120. At least. And one thing that we do need to watch for is we are at our target of the 1-to-1 to the 1.236 Fibonacci extinction, which if this is going to be just a larger, well, this looks like a contracting diagonal in here, pushed up. This is tough because this definitely looks impulsive to the downside here. So we can't say, yeah, that wouldn't work as a complex correction there. Let's just say that. But if this move is a 3-wave corrective move up, this is the area you would expect it to end. And then we could dump back down. So locally, what we're seeing actually right now on Ethereum holding this back test. Actually, I'm going to do this. Holding this back test right now is kind of crucial to continue to the upside. Ethereum money flow looks very, very bullish on Market Cipher B. Now, NAMI is quicker, and you can see NAMI has already confirmed the 4-hour bear divs on money flow, as well as momentum wave bear divs on money flow. And Market Cipher B has the momentum bear divs on the momentum. So we are at resistance with bearish divergences confirmed. just be aware that we could see a bit of a pullback from here. If we lose 3,200, I would expect a bit of a pullback. If we can hold it, expect to move to 33.26. But all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I will cover tomorrow. I'm going to go live. I'll spend a few hours. We can hop on the live stream for quite a bit amount of time. We'll cover Bitcoin. We'll cover all the altcoins. Post in the chat which altcoins you'd like me to look at. But we have an opportunity. By the way, let me really quickly go into the Bitcoin dominance, because on Friday, I was letting you guys know in the live stream that Bitcoin dominance was dropping and losing this range, and that we had a chance to see the altcoins run against Bitcoin. We were at the value area high of our range. All this price action underneath our channel, which was a 3-year long channel that we were in for most of the bull market for Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance stole the show for most of the bull market. But once we lost that channel, we kind of started ranging sideways here. Well, we were at the value area high of our range. You can see here at the value area high of our range, rejecting, grabbing liquidity, rejecting from the value area high. We also had a 0.5 Fibonacci there. We also had a naked weekly point of control up there. And we were starting to drop pretty aggressively here on Thursday and Friday. And I said, guys, now that we're rejecting value area high, we were also losing the point of control of our range on Friday. I said it's likely we could see a move down to the value area low and this 786 Fibonacci. And that would allow the altcoins to run a bit. So we are seeing some of the altcoins really start to push off. Sui today. Sui has been incredible, pushing up very, very extremely aggressively. And yesterday I made a short 1 minute long video. I meant to make it a YouTube short, guys. I don't know why YouTube didn't upload it as a short, but we were looking at this all last week, a wave 1, a wave 2, internal wave 1, internal wave 2, big third wave to the upside. Our third wave to the upside even broke out of our pitchfork levels and even not even SFP'd the range highs here. So breaking up in a third wave, after this third wave ends, which it could end from right here, right now, we could see a 4.5 and a 4.5 potentially coming up to $2.20, guys, where we do have our pitchfork midline, the value area low of our macro upper range, and we have our 0.5 Fibonacci up there and some liquidity, this liquidity up here as well. So I do think this 112 impulse overall on Sui could bring us all the way up to 220 before seeing a larger corrective move. But right now we are hitting into the 382 Fibonacci, and I expect this, we could see at least a small pullback from here. All right, guys, I will be live tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please come join me. Hit the like button on your way out. You guys have a good night.